the way Tribor is it's kind of a bustling town. It's not walled, but it does have several cliffs that kind of border the three of the four sides. It's essentially a crossroads, so there's four roads that come in. The Long Road, which goes north and south, and then you have the Evermore Way, which connects with Tribor Trail, which goes over to Neverwinter. The town's been known for marketing horses as well as raising horses, and also is kind of a way stop for travelers and caravan personnel. As you guys were coming in, I think we had discussed the weather has kind of gotten quite windy and quite a bit cooler than normal that you've seen. However, you've not seen leaves change or anything pointing towards the autumn time. As you come in, you start to pass several farms, as well as some cottages as you come through the area. As you continue to walk, you see several buildings. There's a building kind of as you enter into town called the Pleasing Platter. Has a nice big sign, looks to be very grandiose, sort of on the left. And then you see some farmhouses that continue, and in the center of town, you see a large, what looks like a market square or a tower. And this tower stands up in the middle, and there's little tents and whatnot that are kind of spread out in an open field. And then to the north, as well as the west and to the southwest, there's several large areas that are fenced in. You see caravans and whatnot, and you see your horses kind of over off to the side in the western pen, and there seems to be a halfling that's sort of standing there holding their leashes and just kind of sitting there watching.
All right. Well, I'll go over and.
You're going to head over and... Sorry, Irish. You try it again.
Did I break up again?
Yeah, you did.
Holy mackerel. It's got to be TeamSpeak then.
Something going on with it. Yep.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do an uninstall.
Yeah, because I see your TeamSpeak turns off as you're trying to talk, so...
Alright, so I'll go over and talk to the halfling and say hello to the horses, and then just see if we need to pay anything for the transportation of the horses.
Sure. So the halfling is there. He seems to be pretty eager. It looks like he pushed pretty hard up the road to get there, because I know you had communicated to him at that time as well. And so he says there's no charge. It was included with the boarding, and just recommends that next time, if you're going to be a couple weeks, that you definitely pay a little bit more extra. However, the innkeep was very happy to get rid of your horses because they were eating up a lot of the food. And he kind of bids adieu, and you see he kind of walks over to the building that's immediately to the west of there, which looks to be some sort of an inn or something. But you see a lot of people kind of moving about and milling about outside there.
What's that fortress in the center?
So that fortress in the center is a large tower, and as you went by, you saw that the tower, the keep itself, has a large banner on it, which shows three black boars running through the head of a banner through the blood red field.
And this thing right here is that biggest swimming pool in the village.
That's what we like to call the cement pond.
I see they got their roller derby track over here. Pretty nicely sized.
Go-karts.
And what is this, the graves? They look kind of gravish. Even got a cross right there.
Yep, those are graves, yep. And that's a pony park, and that's a small farm with a large lake, and you see a couple kids kind of fishing there. You do see that in the town, there's several large boulders that are kind of stuck into the ground, and you do see one building off to the northeast, or northwest, that has been crushed by a large rock.
Well, we know about those. Alright, well, I'm gonna see So that fortress, we don't know what it's for. We just has banners.
Yeah,
No
just has a
jurisdiction.
large banner. You do see that there's what appears to be a militia sitting kind of inside the gate, the door of it itself. He appears to be militia, anyways. He's dressed in sort of some leathers, as well as has a large pole arm. But yeah, so otherwise you're not really sure. There are some shops and things, bazaars that are here, but they seem to be packing up, kind of putting things on their wagons and starting to move off out of town as it's starting to get in the afternoon.
Do
All right.
Do we recognize the banner?
No, you don't recognize the banner necessarily, but you do recognize that you are in the city of Tribor, and you have heard of the symbol or the banner that flies. So that does kind of depict sort of a symbol of the town itself.
I'm gonna go to the front of the fortress
Okay.
and ask them about that house that's crushed by boulders.
The guard kind of sits up and he goes, "Aye, yeah, big boulder hit that building about a week ago."
Wouldn't happen to be giants, would it?
Yeah, coming from the northeast. Every once in a while, they throw rocks towards us. They seem to be kind of like, kind of like not very smart, but and a little bit fat at times, to be honest. But we've heard of other ones that have been kind of around, you know.
Yeah, heard of any armored giants around here?
Yeah, there's some that heard from the northeast, maybe, but I haven't seen them. I just guard the tower here, you know.
Right. So, sounds like this whole giant problem is coming from the northeast then.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just sit here. Anyways, you staying the night?
We haven't decided yet.
Ah,
What is this tower?
oh, this is where the Lord Protector stays.
The Lord Protector.
Yes, of course.
Character knowledge, is this a lord of the Lord's Alliance?
It's not.
Oh. That's a shame.
Yeah,
I
Tribor.
guess he didn't do a whole lot of protecting there.
Well, we keep the tower safe, you know.
How are the people doing after all those giant attacks?
Sad. We lost one person. They got squished.
Right? I saw that house.
Yeah. You here to fix it?
Well, I would ask if there's any kind of bounty out for these giants.
You'd have to talk to Miss Shankrell.
And who would that be?
The Lord Protector, of course.
Of course. And is this a person we can speak to freely?
I don't think you have to pay anything, huh? She usually talks to people freely.
No appointments then. That's good.
I don't know what an appointment is, I could see if she's available, though.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize, how far out this village is. Getting that podunk feel. Well, that would be great, sir. Me and my crew would like to speak to her about these giants.
He kind of nods to you and kind of goes back into the building, and you hear kind of the door close. There's no other guards out there or anything, and you can hear him kind of his boots kind of walking away. The rest of you, I assume, are with him or doing anything else at this point?
No, I would go with him. Maybe we should find like an inn or something, and if possible, before we leave, I'd like to see if we can find like the Lion Shield trading post. I think there's somebody there that I'd like to talk to.
Okay, sounds good. You just want to kind of look around and see like where things are at while we're waiting, or just gonna kind of hang out here or ask?
What's your name? The guard.
Oh, the guard has gone inside. He closed the door behind him, so he's kind of already left. He went to get the
Rude.
person. Yeah, he was a little rude. But he is coming back, so he should be back in just a couple minutes.
Sounded Canadian.
Yeah.
He sounded like he was from the Dakotas. I was having Fargo flashbacks.
He's from Tribor. Come on, guys. You know how it is. So after a few minutes, you guys just kind of standing out there. You do see that the folks here appear to be generally poor. You do see some caravan drivers kind of going around. And as you're watching, just kind of seeing where things are at, you do see that the building kind of up the northern road, which is... Sorry. This one right here, that building there, appears to be kind of what looks like a sort of a dive, I guess, if you want to call it. That appears, you see some people kind of come in and out of there. Seems to be somewhat busy. Right straight across the street is what you see is a sign that's called the Wainwright Wagons. And it's pretty well known. You've actually heard of it before, just in general lore, that it's a large sawmill and builds wagons and whatnot for the areas that are around here. And then the building that's right here, you see that building does appear to be a large sort of a merchant building, and over the entrance you see what looks like a polished shield emblazoned with the head of a stylized gold lion on a blue background.
Maybe that's the place.
And I was trying to find the inn.
Get the digital now.
Is it digital? I had a feeling. If it gets bad, let me know, okay? So about 5 minutes or so go by, and then you hear the doors open, and as the doors open, you see a tall woman who comes kind of walking through the door, and you see the guard is behind her as well. And she sort of nods to him and closes the door, and he actually stays inside, which probably is a little unusual. And she kind of looks to you and says,
That doesn't look noble.
"What do you need?"
Alright, let's see that thing on her chest. That's one of the alliances, right? The factions.
Yeah, it's the Harpers.
That's a
Harpers.
Harper.
What do we mentally know about the Harpers?
They
Relenia's one.
Oh,
I think Relenia is part of the Emerald Enclave, actually, but
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess.
it's all good. So the Harpers typically are a group of relatively good aligned people that try to keep the evils out of the Faerun. They usually work pretty secretive, to be honest with you. However, she seems to kind of bore that symbol very boldly to show who she is. They're kind of infiltrated throughout everywhere. Generally are, like I said, helpers. There's a lot of adventurers and what that work with them. So
well, I put on a big smile, extend my hand, and say, we're part of the Lord's Alliance. We hear you have giant problems.
she sticks out her hand, shakes it very abruptly and briskly, and she says, "Yep, giant problems is right. What are you all doing in town?"
Well, we're kind of something of giant hunters.
Giant hunters, huh?
Have you heard of our work in Golden Fields?
What's your group's name? You must have a name if you're a big deal.
Well, we represent a bigger faction, so we don't currently have a name.
Ah, which faction do you work with?
You know, I think to myself, didn't I already tell you this? We're part of the Lord's Alliance.
She says, all right. Well, I've heard of some dealings of the Lord's Alliance down in Golden Fields. I heard that fought off a couple giants, kind of gutted them and dragged their heads out, I think, of the area, from what I had heard. Yeah, I've heard some stories about groups. What brings you to Tribor?
Well, we've heard that fire giants have been gathering near here, specifically to the northeast.
Yeah, we've had scouts that have been out there. We've really only had pretty much hill giant incursions. The fire giants seem to be digging for something or looking for something up in the hills, but we really haven't seen them down into town. I've heard some discussion about people traveling north on the long road having some incursions with rocks being thrown, but occasionally we have a rock or two thrown here.
I thought they attacked the town.
Well, they threw a couple rocks, but once they figured out we weren't really going to mess with them, they kind of left us alone.
Heard someone died.
Yeah, sadly, unfortunately, but that happens, right?
Not enough to rile the town up, huh?
Well, it's a small town, and we don't have a lot of protectors or guards like, Belyard or Neverwinter, or where are you all from?
From all around.
Fair. Well, yeah, we really haven't seen a lot of issues. Things have been okay. I haven't had to send the militia out at all, thankfully. But
Any bounties out on these giants?
I heard the Lord's Alliance has some bounties out. You should know about that.
Collecting on those have been proven to be quite difficult.
I see. Well, they're not really bothering us, so I don't know if we really need to worry about them. They keep to themselves, we keep to ourselves.
Could you possibly loan us a scout or two?
Sure. What are you scouting for?
Specifically those armored fire giants. What they're digging up could be very important.
Are you sure you can manage an armored fire giant?
We've dealt with one,
Ah.
and it wasn't too bad.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, possible. Who you looking for? What kind of scout you want? You want somebody who goes underground? Do you want somebody who's good at hiding in trees? You want somebody? What kind of scout you looking for?
Can we
Someone
get a
fast.
Cub Scout?
What's a Cub Scout?
They turn into a bear.
They turn in. Ooh, that sounds pretty interesting. I don't have any druids here, unfortunately.
Someone fast with good eyes.
I'm a druid.
You're a druid. Oh, you have a Cub Scout. You don't need anybody like a Cub Scout then. Yeah, I suppose. Are you looking to hire? How much are you going to be paying?
How much would it cost to rent a scout? You know this is for the good of your village. They're known to come back and destroy these places.
She says, well, they're not really bothering us, though. I mean, I suppose if they do, maybe we need somebody, but...
Your scout would be getting experience, exposure. That's pretty good pay.
And you
We'll
get to
be taken from our
do a good turn daily.
experience.
What was that? I'm sorry?
Nothing.
I said he'll be taken from our experience, too.
She says, well, why don't you go ahead and chat with Roland? I think Roland's probably the best person for you. He works over at the Cart and Coin.
Does she point? God doesn't know where that is.
She doesn't.
Where would that be?
It's to the south.
She goes, no, it's not. It's to the north. And she kind of points around the building to the right, kind of pointing to the northeast or northwest. She says, you can't miss it. They swap horses, draft animals. They have feed, horseshoes, gears. Just talk to Arn and Serene. They're good people.
Well, thank you for your help. We'll see what we can do about those giants.
Yeah, I don't expect any trouble, and please don't push any trouble to the town, okay? We don't have a lot of people to defend.
Right, not much to lose.
Yeah, you may want to check out the North Shield house. I think that's a good place to stay. Orgala, I think, has a few rooms if you're looking.
Where is that?
And she, again, kind of points around to the corner and points up to the north, and she says, just follow the road. It's up the road and around the corner.
Do you have a trading post in town?
We do. I probably would recommend the Tribor Arms. Is that what you're looking for?
I'm actually looking for someone named Alestra Ober.
Oh. Yeah. Illustra. You see the big building? It kind of points around to the one that you saw with the banner with the lion on it. She says, that's the building. However, that being said, you're not going to find any locals in there. Locals don't really like Lustra being here.
Oh, really? Why is that?
She's from Yartar. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You guys aren't from here. Triborians don't like Yartarians, and Yartarians don't really like the Triborians, so it's kind of a big rival. You know, they're selling all kinds of cattle and stuff and horses at reduced prices, and folks out here are trying to make a living, and they keep undercutting them. So he's not had much business except for pretty much people passing by that know the Lion Shield. So, but anyways, yeah, he's right around there, around the corner.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We just have some personal business with her.
She's nice and all. I mean, I like her. She seems to do well. It's just, you know, not many people around town really care for her. I'm just glad she's in town. It's nice to have another business. But that being said, you know, some people don't care for her. I think it's kind of silly.
Thank you for the information.
Yeah, no problem. She kind of looks around. She says, anything else?
That'll do it.
It's good. Have a good day. Enjoy your time here, and be sure to spend a few coin, okay?
Right.
She kind of walks in, closes the door. The guard opens up the door again and kind of sits down.
All right. Well, I guess we'll head to that north road. Sound like it had everything.
Alrighty. So the cart and coin, you can see is right here. There's a sign that's outside that has a large coin cart, and it's filled with coin kind of piling out of it. You do see there's people kind of milling about. There's some horses and whatnot. There's a small gate that seems to keep horses in the actual area that's there. It has a small kind of palisade around it, and just tall enough to keep the horses inside.
Which place was Roland at?
He was right there at the cart and coin.
Ah, all right. Well, I'd go there.
So as you enter in, you do see a small boy who's kind of helping move the horses around, and he kind of looks up and says, "Hello."
I'm looking for a man named Roland. Have you seen him?
I've never actually really seen him, but I know who you're talking about.
Oh, so you don't know what he looks like? Can you tell me where he is?
Yeah, he's right here. And he kind of raises up his hand. I don't have any mirrors. I've never really seen what I look like.
All right, funny kid. Help me out here. I'm really looking for Roland.
I am Roland. That's me, Roland Wiggins.
Mm-hmm. And you're fast, good eyes?
Super fast, great eyes. I can even see in the dark.
Wow, that Lord... we put a kid up to this, huh?
What do you need?
So, are you looking for work?
I'd have to ask my mom, Serene.
Of course.
She's just inside. Come on in with me. It'll be fine.
I'm having second thoughts about this.
You want to hire a child to be your scout?
Well, hire implies paying. If we get out of that part, it wouldn't be so bad.
It'd be a Cub Scout.
Mountain could forge a waiver for you, a permission slip.
Excellent. I may need a note.
Wouldn't take but a minute.
Excellent. Kind of goes over and says, "We're about the same height."
Alright, guys, I'm not sure about this. The point of the scout was to tip some of the danger in their favor. I don't feel so comfortable doing that with a child.
User entered your channel.
Alrighty. And he looks at Melton, kind of writes something down real quick, and he goes, "Wow, that's awesome." He's like, "That's my mom's handwriting."
Yeah, there you go.
We may not need your services. We're going to be doing some very dangerous work with the armored giants to the north here.
Oh, you can go see the giants? I like giants. They're really cool. They're super tall. Did you know that you can run between their legs and they don't even see you?
Have you seen any in the town or near the town?
None in the town, but I do sneak up on occasion and kind of take a look and see what they're doing. Some of them are not very smart.
You know where they're at?
Yeah, well, maybe. I haven't snuck on them in a few days. Daddy Arn found out, and he was really mad at me.
Maybe you could be of use. That's some experience you seem to have with giants.
I don't know. I've seen them.
Alright. What would it take to get you to work with us on this expedition?
Well, I have to be honest with you. I'm pretty expensive.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's 5 copper a day.
Oh, that is pretty expensive.
I know. If you can't afford it, I understand, but that would be my going rate.
No, I think we could, really put our money together.
Wonderful.
I think we could just barely afford that.
Unfortunately, the sun's going down, and I have to go in. But tomorrow morning, I'm up first thing in the morning. Just come on over, and you'll have to ask my mom and dad. Oh, I have a permission slip. I'll show mommy my permission slip.
What does that thing actually say?
Melton?
It says, "To whom it may concern, whatever the little boy's name is, because I can't remember it.
Roland.
Roland has permission to go and hunt giants." Signed, his mommy.
He says, do you,
Oh,
I'll bend down and show Roland his face in the mirror. Got one in my backpack.
he goes, wow, that's cool. He's like, why are you so scaly? Never seen a scaly guy before. Is that a disease?
No, I'm a lizard folk. I'm not a soft skin, and I'll give him a light poke on the chest.
He goes,
I'm
ouch.
armored.
Oh, neat. Most people wear their armor.
Yeah, I look up to those guys. They're trying to make their skin hard like me.
I like your hat.
Oh, thanks. My crown?
Yeah, it's really
nice.
cool. Excellent. Okay, it's really late. You see the sun's dropping, and now I can start to see kind of black and white. I gotta go. All right, bye. He turns around and runs in the house. Oh, and he turns around and says, if you need horseshoes, I can do that too.
alright, guys, let's go to the inn. Which is also north, I believe.
Hey guys, I'm not feeling like real comfortable having a child with us in all this danger and taking him, and he's gonna guide us to fire giants and such. That doesn't seem appropriate.
Sounds like he's been tempered. He's been around those giants before. And that is why I asked for the fastest.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that either. The only way that I would agree to having him lead us is if we make sure that, he stays far away from anything that we do once he shows us where the giants are.
Hey, he's a growing boy, coming of age. Something like this could really turn him into a go-getting fighter.
But he's like 7.
I don't think we got an exact age. He's just a little bit short, When
Well,
I was
if
his
we need to-
age, I was going through terrible stuff like this.
If we need to find out how old he is, the druids have a way of finding out. We do it on trees. We cut the tree in half and then we count the rings.
I don't think that will work with, with boys.
Well, we won't put him in too much danger. He is just a guide. He won't be fighting alongside us in or anything. Of course, if he has some ideas, I will keep an ear open to them.
Well, if we do hire him, you're going to pay him more than a couple of coppers a day.
That's expensive. He sounded very content with his own price. I'm not a businessman.
I would want to pay him like 5 gold a day.
What? Let's not get outrageous here.
Milton has a lot of. I think he has a whole bunch of the platinum ones. Maybe he can pay him 5 platinum a day.
Are you kidding me?
Milton, you won all that money at the casino in like a couple hours.
That was hard work.
Well, we'll see if we even have to pay by tomorrow. We're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. You put giants on the letter mountain, his parents aren't gonna let him out now. You might just have to grab him.
So now you want to kidnap him?
Well, I'm sure he would be consenting to it, so I wouldn't call it kidnapping. We'd just be getting our contractor. And he comes home with all that gold. I'm sure his parents won't even be mad. Look at this place. They could use all the money they can get. Where would he even spend gold here? Buy some extra manure.
As you guys
I'm
are
pretty sure
Oh,
that
go ahead.
manure's free.
While you're discussing, you see several people kind of are wandering into the building just immediately to the north on the left side of the road, as well as you do see that there's several people that are kind of walking along many other roads as well, kind of through the town, milling about and whatnot. You do see the building to the north does look like a probably what you'd call, like I said, a dive. You see that the roof is looks like it caught fire maybe a couple years ago, and it kind of has some burned lumber on top, and there's some holes that allow birds to nest and whatnot. You do see that there's what looks like cloth that's over the openings of the holes that's there. The door kind of opens and closes quite frequently. You do see people kind of wandering in and out, and it does have kind of the sounds of what sounds like maybe a tavern or a meeting room or something like that. Up on the cliff, about just immediately to the north, you see where there's that plus 30, there's a large building up there. As you're kind of standing there talking, you notice that this appears to be a very large stone mansion. Looks like somebody who may be rich lives there. It's interesting, though. You see that there's four, they look like stone statues of little people with wings kind of sitting on each edge of the building, which kind of seems out of place. The building doesn't really have that Gothic type of look to it, but you see them kind of standing there. You don't see anybody milling about on the outside at all. And yeah, you see a lot of the caravanners and whatnot are just kind of wandering down the roads, walking to that building, as well as you see them kind of walking to the south to some buildings down to the south as well.
So we're going to the dive to see if we can talk up some locals.
Yeah.
While you guys do that, I'm gonna check out like around the fields and everything like that, see if I see any trails.
Okay. Excuse me. So Stig is going to go check the fields and whatnot, and then the rest of the group is heading into the building.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Yes.
So as you walk up, you see you see a sign that's there. It's kind of hanging just on one little hook, and it has a large troll on it. And he appears to be standing on what it looks like a stage. And you see several little circles that look like heads, like somebody underneath him, and he's kind of like almost orating to them. As you open up the door, you see that the building is pretty busy. You see a lot of people kind of milling about inside. Most of them seem to be some locals. There's a lot of caravanners there as well. You see there's what looks like birds are kind of all nested up in the beams, and the floor is and the tables are sort of speckled with bird droppings all over the place. However, you do see that there's a large door behind the bar, and that behind that door there's a large what looks like cellar, and it seems to be really well stocked. And you see a gentleman kind of walking or talking behind the bar, who appears probably to be the owner, but he's at times singing as he sort of delivers these food. Pretty good, but definitely singing nonetheless.
Is he human?
He is human,
Or
yep.
Whatever.
Yep, he's a male human. He's kind of singing. You see him kind of passing things out. Yeah. Other things you see in there, yeah, people kind of sitting around and whatnot. Yeah.
Is anybody paying us any special attention, or just the normal, we're new people, they're
Yeah.
curious?
So, yep, they don't really pay much attention at all. They see the door open, look to see if they know you. If they don't, then, obviously the door, the door closes and they go back to doing what they're doing. The barkeep seems to kind of be interested, and he smiles and sort of waves you over and, indicates that he's willing to pour up some drinks if you need it.
Well, hello. I think I will have something to drink if you can spare some.
Ah, yes, of course. Have a seat, please. Kalen Sarcer, nice to meet you all. Please, where are you coming from? I have drinks from all over. Maybe from the north. It's a wonderful place. I even have some stuff from Shadowdale, which doesn't come in very often. A little pricey, but it's very, very good.
Hey, what was that drink from Golden Fields?
Golden Gulp? Good stuff. Very good stuff. Pretty expensive, though. You look like you have the coin, though. I'm sure you guys can afford it.
Yeah, give us a round of that.
Ah, very good. A round of the Golden Gulp. And he starts whistling a tune as he goes into the back.
This place seems to be doing pretty well for such a poor town.